COSTA 200, COSTA 200, to win $200 in free bets if either Cleveland or Pittsburgh scores a touchdown. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 and up, Michigan only. New customer offer. All promos subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards are issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credits. The bets expire within 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
It's January 2022, and I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With mortgage interest rates likely on the rise, you need to call Hall Financial right now. Now's the time to lower your monthly mortgage payment. Get started at 866-CALL-HALL or check with us at callhallfirst.com.
As we continue to face COVID-19, we're now facing flu season. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Now more than ever, it's essential to protect yourself from influenza by getting the flu vaccine. The flu vaccine is safe and effective and can't give you the flu. To protect yourself and those at highest risk, get your flu vaccine. Learn more at michigan.gov/flu. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first.
So wait, you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility is. So we take the time to really get to know them.
Get to know them how?
We make sure we understand their unique goals, finances, health, family, and lifestyle, so we can tailor their portfolio to their specific needs. Our goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility. You must make big commissions then, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Restrictions may apply. Plans and costs for coverage may vary. Call Protect My Car for details. Look, money's tight for everyone right now. It's been a tough year, and you sure don't need to get hit with a big, unexpected bill. Like, what if your car breaks down right now? How are you paying the bill? If it's your transmission, that's over $3,000. Your engine, up to $6,000. Even minor repairs like your air conditioning can hit your wallet hard. Here's the good news. If you have a car, truck, or SUV that's $19.99 or newer, you can stop paying for repairs right now. That's right. With Protect My Car, when your car breaks down, we pay your repair bill for you. Just dial 800-279-2827 on your mobile phone now to get started. Protect My Car pays for repairs to your engine, transmission, air conditioning, suspension, and so much more. Dial 800-279-2827 and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Dial 800-279-2827 on your mobile phone right now and get free roadside assistance, free towing, free car rental, and free oil changes. Dial 800-279-2827 and never pay for car repairs again. Dial 800-279-2827.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by National Benefit Plans, NBPHealth.com.
The telephone number 248-539-9797. Beloved Detroit Lions got trounced 51-29 in Seattle. Seahawks, Lions couldn't really run the ball effectively. They couldn't stop the run, and that's the reason they lost the game. TJ back in the studio with John. I'm on COVID protocol, so I'm here. However, I'm here at my home. TJ
likes celebration music.
Yes. So TJ, more importantly, did you have any interesting times in Seattle? Did you go to any fish markets? Enjoy Seattle.
Were you sleepless?
No, yeah, I was sleepless, man. I don't know what was wrong with that bed I slept in. Like, the bed was rock hard and the pillows were like the ones that just completely flatten out. Oh, man, my back and neck were all jacked up this morning. Well, yesterday morning, I guess. No, I didn't do anything. I actually got there a little bit later in the night. Got there about 7 o'clock local time, so it was 10 our time. And their GM, John Schneider's a good guy. He's a good friend of mine. He was in Green Bay for
He was
a
in
long
Washington
time.
with me for a few years.
Yeah, and he's a good dude. I actually went over to his house. He lived pretty close to the hotel, saw him for a little bit, and that was about it. And
The siren?
yeah, I mean, like you asked the question, you know? Just being honest, that was name dropping a little bit, but that's it. Hey, first thing, can we talk about?
So is Russell Wilson being traded to Detroit?
I don't think so, man. I
The
don't,
Lions?
I don't know what's going on over there. Like, I just, even talking to a couple of the players that I know, I mean, like, nobody knows. I mean, it's kind of a weird structure there right now because, obviously with their owner, Paul Allen, passing away, a couple years ago, I don't really know what their ownership status is, and Pete is kind of more controlling, than the GM, so nobody really knows who wants change, what's going to be different, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's still obviously disappointing season for Seattle, but obviously they showed yesterday that they can still be a pretty good team. But
Did your buddy Schneider admit that the Lions reached out to him when they were searching for a general manager?
I think there was talks. Yes, I think there were talks. I think there was. There were talks. I mean, that's when we have opening, you tend to interview Tom.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's not really breaking news.
He almost didn't reach out to the Lions because he played it great. Got an extension, got more money.
Yeah, and he used the grade right around that time. He was talking. He was a big name. Him and Brad Holmes and Schneider played it up well. Man, he signed that extension like a week later, and good for him. But I don't know, what's the most interesting? Like, I'm sorry. I know I don't want to hijack the program. Antonio Brown. Like I miss a lot of things that happened on Sunday. Obviously working the game. What the hell? He just straight up like quit
Middle of the game. Third.
They asked him.
I've never seen that before.
No, I think they asked him, and he said his ankle was sore. He got into a little argument with Arians, I guess, which they didn't show that part. And then everybody saw what we saw. Look, there's two ways of looking at it. A, he's a bleep hole. He's always been a bleep hole and all that. A horrible teammate, horrible person. And then there's the other aspect. The guy just needs. He's got mental health issues that should not be minimized.
I think that was pretty clear.
Yeah, because when he was
every single team, pretty much every single year. It's part of football. You know, I mean, look at what the Lions did a couple weeks ago. I mean, Arizona, there's no way they should have won that game, right? Because when you're Arizona, when things start to go bad, sometimes they go real bad, and it happens. I mean, I think you got to flush it and try to find a way here next week with Green Bay coming in to find a way to, you know, try to put a cherry on top of the season, right? It's been a bad season, record-wise, and you just got to find a way to close it out. Yeah, I'm positive.
Do you think Rodgers plays? You got it all sealed up, and you have him not play for 2 weeks because of the bye?
I wouldn't expect to see him, just because, you know, you talk about they've got the bye coming up. You talk about, you know, he's had the toe injury for quite some time now. I think it would probably be a good time for them to rest him, probably rest Devontae, maybe Aaron Jones, you know, running back, try to keep those guys fresh for the playoffs, and maybe a couple defensive guys. Yeah, I wouldn't expect Aaron Rodgers to play this.
All right, our telephone number 248-539-9797. We'll talk about one of the positives from yesterday coming up next.
Hey, John Jansen here, and you guys have heard me bragging all of last year and so far, all of this year, about Level 1 Bank. It's my personal bank. It's where I do my checking, my savings, but more importantly, it's where I've got my home mortgage. If you're looking to buy a new home here in 2022 or build a new home, if you're considering refinancing, I highly recommend Level 1 Bank. My mortgage experience with Level 1 Bank was outstanding. The communication with my loan officer was great. They were patient with me. I had a ton of questions, and they were creative and structuring my loan because everybody's financial situation and their journey is different. They made sure I was getting the best available rate. Level 1 Bank has earned my trust for all of these reasons, and they've got a wide variety of mortgage programs. Listen all in. First-time home buyer, new construction renovation loans, jumbo loans, doctor loans. They even have a special mortgage program designed for first responders, medical professionals, teachers, and government or nonprofit employees. Want to learn more? Go to level1bank.com. Want to talk to someone? Call Dan at 866-707-LOAN. That's 866-707-LOAN. Level 1 Bank is a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. 97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ 950 AM Traffic Center, an earlier crash is clearing northbound I-75 up to Grange Hall Road. The crash 94 Eastbound at Prince Road has the right shoulder blocked. Crews are on the scene to clear up a vehicle fire. This along M14 eastbound near Dodfordson. Cars on the right shoulder. M39 southbound between I-96 and I-94 collision free. Keeping an eye here on road work. This along eastbound I-94 from East Van Boulevard to French, a left lane closure. Northbound I-75 Surface Drive from 8 to 11 Mile, a single lane closure here for long-term work continuing. And along southbound Gratiot at 16 Mile, the right lane closure there. This work running through the end of the month. I'm Tracy McCaskill with traffic.
Necessary Roughness with former NFL lineman DJ Lang and John Jansen. Download it today on the Odyssey app.
This is former Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute. Today's birthday shout-outs go to former Giants teammates Eli Manning and David Tyree. Remember those guys? As Tom Brady painfully recalls in the fourth quarter of Super Bowl 42, Manning and Tyree combined for a 5-yard touchdown pass, and then during the game-winning drive, Tyree pulled off the legendary helmet catch. So happy 41st birthday to Eli and happy 42nd, David. What a memory. I'm former Esiason.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 7730 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 7730. Enjoy.
End the year big and start next year even bigger by taking advantage of amazing deals during your Metro Detroit Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Dealers 2021 year-end big finish event. Grab great deals on some of our hottest-selling models like the powerful Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab, the all-new 7-passenger Grand Cherokee L, and the redesigned 2022 Jeep Compass. Plenty of inventory to choose from, or build the vehicle the way you want it and place your order today. Hurry into a Metro Detroit Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealer.
I'm sure you probably heard of FanDuel Sportsbook by now. First off, FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL. That means you can place your bets on a trustworthy app that's easy to use. Right now, new customers can place their first bet risk-free, and if you don't win, you get up to $1,000 back. So you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, now's the perfect time to give it a shot. Easy to use, fast withdrawals. You pay in as little as 2 hours. There's odds boosts, specials, and live betting. No better place to bet on the NBA than FanDuel. You're already a FanDuel Sportsbook user. FanDuel is hooking all customers up with $50 when you refer a friend. Plus, your friend will get $50. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code DOUG to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Make every moment more this NBA season. That's promo code DOUG. Must be 21 or older and present in Michigan. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-2707-117 for confidential help. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 97.1 The Ticket.
Here's why I enjoy sports betting. It kind of gives you some skin in the game, as BetMGM likes to say.
You know you're a sports bettor when you're tuning in to watch a UConn football game. Chelsea Messenger and Michael Jenkins from the Daily Tip, presented by BetMGM. Some bad football, but if you have some skin in the game, all of a sudden you're invested in it, and then you look at the games from a different perspective. All the insight you need to bet smarter is at BetQL.com. And listen to the Daily Tip streaming weekday mornings from 6 to 9 Eastern on Odyssey.
Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Last year, 97.1 The Ticket Student Heart Check program detected over 150 student athletes who needed a follow-up with a cardiologist to ensure they have a healthy heart. Make time to have your child checked. Contact the Ernst Cardiovascular Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. Dan Campbell joins Stoney and Jansen Tuesdays at 7:30 on 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket, Stoney and Jansen program. TJ Lang in studio with us. I mentioned there was one, but definitely one positive from the bottom. Seattle Lions lose 51-28. And once again, obviously, 8 receptions, 111 yards, a touchdown rush. He can do everything. Do you agree with the Golden Tate comp, or do you think he can even be better than Golden Tate?
Well, I think Golden was special, after the catch. I think it's comparable that he's got a knack for finding his way open, finding the soft spots in the zone. Much like veteran receivers, right? It's impressive to see a rookie do that. Now, before I think you get with the Golden Tate comp, I think you probably have to take a step back. I mean, Golden was just very spectacular with the yak and after the catch and running to make you guys miss. And not saying that Amon-Ra can't be that guy, but he was decent at it yesterday. He made a couple moves, and even on the touchdown run on the draw, making I think it was Quadre, miss right in front of him. That was nice. I think I don't hate that comparison. I don't hate it at all. I think Amon-Ra's kind of got like sneaky speed. Golden Tate was speedster, but his feet were always like real quick feet. Like Amon-Ra's just kind of got that sneaky speed where he just kind of catches defenses off guard. But I tell you, I think that, like I just said, I think the most impressive thing about him is just his knack for reading coverages, reading defenses, reading matchups, and understanding where he's supposed to be. And I'll tell you what, man, I mean, watching the film, he sticks out every single game in the run game. I mean, he's getting, I can't remember, it's either Arizona or Minnesota. I mean, I counted like 4 or 5 pancakes in the run game. And on linebackers, on safeties, and he's a physical dude, and he mixes it up too. I mean, you can tell he gets under guys' skin, DBs. I think he's just he's definitely not playing like a rookie, and
he's been, probably the most impressive player, at least probably, the last 4 or 5 games, if not since the bye week. I mean, I just saw, NFL record, I think, for rookies with most consecutive games with either 8 or 9 catches. I mean, I think it's since the Super Bowl era, whatever it was. But
and some of that is because he's the only target.
Right.
I mean, there's not a lot of other guys. There's not a Hawkinson there to take it away. There's not a, early in the season it was Quintez Cephas.
Right.
There's just nobody there to steal some of those catches. But I do like the fact that he, through the course of this season, if there's one guy that you could say has improved the most, it's been Amon-Ra. And it doesn't necessarily mean that he didn't have this ability to begin with in week 1. It's his confidence, his knowledge of the game, is just, he's playing at such a better speed. And when I say a better speed, it's not that he's playing at a faster speed. He's just playing at a more efficient speed.
Yeah, and I think the coaches have figured out what he's good at too, right? It takes sometimes it takes a while before you realize how you should utilize different players. And the passing game to me is just compared to the first half of the season, it just seemed like just run deep and try to get open. And now you actually see them scheming guys open, and they're scheming plays for Amon-Ra to get open, right? And I think that's something that has taken a little bit of time to develop, but I think they're really starting to use what he's good at and use his strengths to help him get open and make plays.
How important is Sunday for Tim Boyle, if he's even going to play? I mean, we assume Goff is he going to play or not, but if Boyle plays, does that make a difference at all, or do you think they bring him back no matter what?
I still think he's got something to prove. I think there's been times the last 2 weeks where he'll make a couple throws and you're like, damn, man, all right, now he's rolling a little bit, and then he makes a couple throws where you're like, that wasn't very good. But I think honestly he's still, if he gets another chance to play, I think he's got to capitalize on it. I think he still has to prove that he can be a good backup in this league, and he's shown potential. But I think the one thing about him, man, you just like to see him kind of settle down a little bit. The pick he threw coming out of halftime where he drops the snap and just picks it up and fires it. Like, there was nobody around, no pressure, nothing. Like, take your time, read the field. You've got a good offensive line.
See, there was a level of panic.
Yeah, and that's kind of been, the majority of the last couple games where, he's rushing throws for no reason. So that's something I'm sure he'll take a look at. But no, Stoney, I think he's still got a lot to prove.
248-539-9797. By the way, we talked about whether Aaron Rodgers is going to play, and he probably won't. It's pretty damn interesting that he won't have his. If he doesn't play, the streak, well, it won't stop because he'll always have next year if he does not retire. But the last 2 seasons against divisional opponents, it's I don't know, when you put up a list of people's accomplishments against the NFC North, the last 2 seasons, Aaron Rodgers has thrown 36 touchdowns, no interceptions. I mean, that's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, in 11 games, it's impressive, man. And he's owned this division for a long time, and I don't think that's a secret. I don't think that's a slap in the face. That's just facts, man. He's just owned the North for a long time.
He's owned it at about the right time too, because where's his competition been?
Right. Yeah.
I know that it was Stafford here in Detroit, but Detroit never ever really mounted anything. And then you look at Chicago, it hasn't been anybody. Minnesota, it hasn't been anybody. This has been Aaron Rodgers' division to own, basically for his entire career.
Yeah, I think, when I was playing, out of the 8 years, we won either 5 or 6 division titles, and Chicago won a couple. They had a couple decent years with Jay Cutler, and I think Minnesota might have snuck one in there too. But even the Lions, when I was playing in Green Bay, there was 2 years, I think 14 and 16, we played last game of the season, basically winner for the division, and Aaron Rodgers seems to play his best in those type of games. And he's and I'll tell you what, you look at his division games, and what was it, Stoney? 36 touchdowns,
36
0
touchdowns, no
interceptions. Yeah, that's just it speaks for itself, man.
97 won the ticket.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. Seahawks over the Lions during their penultimate game of the NFL season. 265 rush yards bowling over Detroit in Seattle. 51-29 the final score. Tim Boyle had 3 interceptions, filling in for Jared Goff for the 3rd time as the quarterback. Rookie Amon-Ra St. Brown continues to shine at receiver with 8 catches for 111 yards and touchdowns through the air and on the ground. That is 5 straight 8+ catch games.
When you start stacking them like he is, that's a consistent player. That's a productive, consistent player, and those guys I think are hard to find. So I'm glad we got him. As long as he just keeps trending the way he is, he'll be just fine.
So Detroit now 2-13-1 going into their final week, which locks up a top 2 draft pick. The final order will be determined by results in Week 18 between them and the Jaguars. A Jacksonville loss would give them the number 1 overall pick. A Jaguars win and a Detroit loss to Green Bay and the Lions the worst record on the year. After scoring the first goal of the game at LCA, the Red Wings giving up the final 5 to lose 5-1 at home to the Bruins. Tyler Bertuzzi putting home the lone goal for Detroit as they're back to 500 on the season. And a second-half rally giving Spartans basketball their 7th straight win, 73-67 over Northwestern. MSU trailing by 13 in the first half on the road. Gabe Brown with 20 in the victory for Michigan State. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Chris Villard. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
That's Scott the Gator Anderson
This might be really serious.
on 97.1 The Ticket.
Oh, hello, Scott. Hey, man. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever, and yet it really wasn't that long because I really come to the radio station my time off anyway. So
We saw a little bit of each other.
yeah, very little.
Yep.
But it's good to see you now.
But it's also good to have Kang in and Evan in
Yep.
and the band back together.
All 4 of us.
Yep. First time in just under a month.
Yep.
So it's good to be back. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
We begin year 16. Whew. We're able to drive. We got our license today.
Are we able to lose keys or take keys to all the cars and drive away and leave your family with no keys? Because that's what my 16-year-old did yesterday.
He did what?
She.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
She
okay.
what?
It's okay. You did that. I don't know
Yes,
why
I did
said
know
that.
that.
Actually, it wasn't 100% her fault, but she has the backup keys to my Jeep, and I have my keys. And she took my wife's car, took my backup keys with her.
Is there on the same ring?
No,
I was
just because she did. I don't know. But my wife also earlier in the day went out to her car and wanted to get something out of my car and put my regular keys in her car. So my daughter drove away with both sets of keys to the Jeep. It was, I mean, look, I wasn't really mad, but I was like,
Look.
this circumstance.
Women, am I right? I mean, am I right or am I right?
Way to start the new year.
Are you kidding me? Really? They both? I mean, it's a bit absent-minded on both parts.
It is a bit
right?
absent-minded.
I mean, this is not your fault. Clearly not your fault. And yeah, you can't assign. I'm gonna give you the green light. You can assign blame to this one.
Well, look, it was a few things, right? So we were running errands and doing a bunch of returns yesterday, and my wife
No way.
had both sets. Yeah, I know. Both sets of keys. Went out to my car, grabbed some stuff out of my car, put it in her car, then put my keys in her car. And they stayed there the rest of the day. So I had a hockey game last night, and I'm like, I got no keys. I can't get to the rink.
Was your equipment in the car too?
No, my equipment was in the
That's right. That
garage.
stays in the garage because it stinks.
Yes. So, long story short, my son, who's not on the team, came to pick me up. We were late, but that wasn't why we lost. We lost because we slept.
Right. Well, everybody knows that.
Well, so did the Lions, so did Michigan. Not good.
No,
Not good at all.
that was no good.
Nope. But I've had that feeling working games on a couple of occasions. Michigan, Alabama, I think was 2012, was the season opener.
The one in Texas.
Yes. Where I knew very early on, oh, this is not going to go well. This is not going to go well. That team on the other side is way bigger, faster, stronger.
Was that
Michigan.
a Saturday night game?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was, the first weekend of the year. They play those. Yeah, I think it was a Saturday night game. It might have been a 3:30 actually. But either way, Michigan opened the season with Alabama, and I knew early on in that game this wasn't going to go well. There was going to be no comebacks. They were bigger, faster, stronger. On that day, they were certainly better coached. I mean, I thought Kirby Smart and his staff's game plan way exceeded what Harbaugh and his staff put out there, and it's a shame. It's a shame. I think even if Michigan had played their best game, I'm not sure they win. But they might keep it a little closer, but I'm not sure they win. Georgia's just, it was men amongst boys. And I kept saying prior to the game, we had 12 weeks of evidence that Georgia was exceptional, right? Like elite. So much so that people are talking about them, whether or not they were amongst the best teams ever in college football.
Right.
And that one game against Alabama, all that went out the window.
Wiped it out.
All that went out the window. And I was like, I'll go with the 12 data points over the 1 data point, which is my go-to line with this. I didn't expect it to be that bad, but Georgia is simply on a different plane, and I sadly think that the SEC might be on a different plane, at least the top of the SEC.
Well, I don't know if I want to go that far into SEC territory and say how much they reign supreme. They clearly have the best 2 teams in the country right now. I don't think there's any question about that. But the rest of the SEC is, I don't know. But these 2 teams are amazing. And for everybody that was complaining about the seeding going into this college football playoff, and, oh, great, we might see an SEC championship. I want to see it because these are the 2 best teams. So why waste that in a semifinal game when they should match up in a championship game? They got it right. These are the teams that should be there. The only thing they got wrong was the order. Having Michigan 2 and Georgia 3. Georgia was clearly 2 and Michigan 3, but either way, it doesn't matter. They get to the end is really what justifies the means when you talk about this. It was, I mean, I made a prediction. I thought that Michigan was going to win this game. I said 23-17 on the air on Friday. I really thought that the advantage, the number one advantage Michigan had, was that they would be able to mount a pass rush against the Georgia offensive line. Now, the Georgia offensive line was good. They only allowed 11 sacks all season long going into that game. When the game's all said and done, Georgia allowed 11 sacks all season long. They didn't give up a sack. I was amazed by that. The Michigan got nothing in terms of pressure, and that the defensive line just did nothing in terms of stopping the run. And the game was going to be won or lost in the trenches for both teams. And Georgia won both battles. They won it with their offensive line, and they won it with their defensive line, which was a little bit of a stunner to me because Michigan's offensive line was the Moore Award for the top offensive line in the country. That certainly didn't look like it. And that defensive line, all that promise with Hutchinson and Ajabo, and they got no pressure at all on the quarterback. And next thing you know, it's a rout. It was an absolute rout, and I was shocked by it.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, one of the reasons why I didn't get pressure is Georgia's game plan, which I thought was brilliant. Snap throw, get the ball out quick. Hutchinson and Ajabo didn't have time to get home. And, you know, I've talked to coaches before after games, and a lot of times they'll say, you know, we stuck with our game plan. Even when things weren't going well, but we stuck with our game plan. We knew it would work. I think they stuck with the game plan. You have to know when to change the game plan, when the game plan isn't working. And I think they had a bad day in that regard, in knowing when to change the game plan. Look, I'm no coach, and I don't try and coach teams. I mean, I've learned a long time ago that they know way, they've forgotten more than we'll ever know, and you try and do your best to get as close to as you know, what they're thinking as you can. I just think they stuck with the game plan too long, specifically defensively, because Georgia just snapped and throw. And, you know, Michigan kind of always this year played inside and in front, like just keep them inside and front, force field goals. They'll make mistakes. Eventually we'll get a sack. And none of that's like the sack percentage numbers. I did it before the season. If you sack a quarterback, less than 20% of drives result in scores. Like it is a drive killer. The Michigan was great at it all year. Well, Georgia didn't give him a chance. Snap throw.
That's just
and then they have great athletes on the outside, but the size and speed really stood out. And yeah, I knew early on this wasn't going to go.
Well, I mean, I think there was certainly some of that, to be sure, that they threw the ball quickly, but there were other times, you know, I've got my eyes trained on the defensive ends because, hey, I'm a Lions fan. I'm looking to see with Hutchinson, right? Or if Ajabo slips, is that somebody even when they had the quarterback was set up and was throwing on 3 seconds or more, they didn't get anywhere close to him. And they tried moving Hutchinson all over the place to get pressure, and he just couldn't do it. The difference between watching him against Ohio State and Petit Frere in particular, and then going against the left tackle from Georgia, the difference was night and day. Hutchinson owned Petit Frere. He owned Ohio State's line. When he wanted to bull rush, he bull rushed him right back into the quarterback. When he wanted to get around him, he got right around him. Against Georgia, no go either way. He lined up inside on a couple of plays and didn't even get a push. He didn't move the guard back an inch on a couple plays, and he was inside. And I was just taken aback by that because I've seen him be dominant all season long. Now, is that an indictment against him as a fraud, as a number 1 overall pick or top 3 pick? No, I don't think it is. I think it's a game. I think it's a game. You can go back and look at Chase Young and you can say Chase Young didn't have a game in this one. You can look back at the Bosa and say, you know what, Bosa didn't have a game here or didn't have a game there. You can look at Kayvon Thibodeau and you can say he didn't have a game here or there. It was one of those games for Hutchinson where he just wasn't there, and Ajabo literally wasn't on the stat sheet.
All right, 248-539-9797. We got a lot to get to today, including Champ and Chump. We'll have our nominations today at 10:35. Let's get to the people. All that straight ahead. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1.
Hey, it's a new year, and mortgage rates are likely to increase soon, so act now. This is your chance to refinance and lock in a low rate. You need to call Hall Financial right now and get started with a free 5-minute mortgage review. In as little as 5 minutes, Hall Financial can take a look at your financial situation, and they can help you lower your monthly mortgage payment. At Hall Financial, their number 1 priority is client service. With over 4,000 5-star reviews, why would you go anywhere else? Not only is Hall Financial going to treat you like family, but they can also close your loan in 8 business days or less. They are the fastest in the industry. Again, Hall Financial is a company known for their dedication to customer service. They've got over 4,000 5-star reviews. Give them a call today at 866-CALL-HALL, or you can chat with them online at callhallfirst.com. That's callhallfirst.com.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, welcoming you with the lock of the year. Getting things off to a good start. You got $10 lying around? Make a wager on Cleveland or Pittsburgh, and if either team scores a touchdown, you win $200 in free bets, regardless of the bet's outcome. Use the bonus code COSTA200 when you make that bet. Enjoy football like never before and earn M Life rewards that you can redeem for comps at MGM resorts nationwide, not just here in Detroit. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com. That bonus code is COSTA200, COSTA200, to win $200 in free bets if either Cleveland or Pittsburgh scores a touchdown. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 and up, Michigan only. New customer offer. All promos subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards are issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credits. The bets expire within 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
With just one spray of Microban 24, your hard surfaces are sanitized for up to 24 hours. Touch after touch after touch.
So 6 hours from now?
Still sanitized.
12 hours?
Yep.
18 hours.
We're really doing this.
24 hours.
When used as directed, one spray of Microban keeps killing 99.9% of bacteria touch after touch for, up to 24 hours.
Wow.
Microban 24. The sanitizer 4 out of 5 doctors would use in their own homes. So why aren't you?
Hi, this is Tiki Barber. Peloton is bringing so much new for the new year. With the Peloton bike, you get access to new classes and new artist series. Punch up your power with Peloton Boxing. Work out to your favorite music with 100+ artist series classes. For a limited time, experience it all with a $550 value off the Peloton Bike Plus, including $300 off the Bike Plus and free setup and delivery. A $250 value. Terms apply.
With the Peloton bike, there's always something new to try. We're adding new music to our artist series, new disciplines like boxing.
Fight your way through. Let's make it count.
So many new workouts to try on and off the bike.
Let's go, Peloton family.
There's always something new to keep you motivated. For a limited time, get a $550 value on the Peloton Bike Plus. $300 off plus free delivery and setup. A $250 value. All access membership separate. Limited time offer until January 9, 2022. Free delivery only available on continental US. Terms apply.
Creamy nut makes it delightfully sweet. Roasted nuts make it perfectly salty. Get 2 great tastes in one delicious bar. Enjoy a Nature Valley sweet and salty nut bar today.
Let your voice be heard. Call the D Las Vegas 97.1 The Ticket studio line at 248-539-9797. The D Las Vegas, your home for Detroit sports in Vegas. A station where your opinion matters. 97.1 The Ticket.
It was a heck of a football fight tonight. You know, they got the better end of it, but I thought it was physical on both sides of the ball. You know, really their execution, really, I mean, on the perimeter too was extremely good. Just they played well. Got to give them credit for that.
Jim Harbaugh after the game, and I don't know anybody that wasn't giving him credit. Georgia was phenomenal, and Michigan didn't look like they belonged on the same field. It was a brutal day, and look, give the Bulldogs all the credit. You know, there was some talk that Michigan made some uncharacteristic mistakes. I think when you are physically being dominated, you speed up and you do things. Like you try to do things you aren't capable of. There was some weird mental stuff, like a defensive back that stopped running and let a guy get free, or a wide receiver that stopped running his route and let to an easy interception. Just weird stuff like that. But I think it was mostly mistakes forced by Georgia's dominance.
Well, I mean, both sides. You look at Georgia offensively, Stetson Bennett, averaged almost 16 yards of completion, and that's huge. Their running game ran for 190 yards and 5.5 yards a carry. That tells you how dominant that they were, and it's because the offensive line did their job. And defensively, Michigan's offensive line didn't get it done. They didn't protect the quarterback. The quarterbacks got sacked 4 times. We talk about the mistakes they have, mental or otherwise. 2 interceptions. A rushing offense, this great rushing offense we've seen in the second half of the season, particularly for Michigan, generated 3.5 yards a carry and less than 100 yards. It was surprising. There were some little things that I noticed that was maybe they didn't get some momentum if they tried some other things. And certainly they switched up quarterbacks in the second half. Mixed results. I know everybody wants to go crazy about J.J. McCarthy and wants to see him, and he may very well be the starting quarterback from day one when spring camp is done, when they make their decision there and heading into the season. But other things, like Donovan Edwards runs with an attitude that maybe the other 2 guys don't. I think there's a little bit of a difference there with and reason for excitement. I kind of shake my head when I hear, what was that? 5-star recruit from West Bloomfield, Michigan. Interesting. But he's fantastic. And the other one that I thought was interesting is it seemed like didn't happen till late in the game that Andrel Anthony was brought into the game. And when you need somebody to show up with speed, utilize the speed, man. And it seemed like it took too long. By the time he was in there, it was mop-up duty anyway. Georgia bringing in their backups, and here's Anthony gets open for the pass. And I didn't understand why it took so long to put some earlier.
He was in the game earlier, but at no point did he get any. Did they throw to him until then? But that I recall. But 248-539-9797. Let's go to D in Detroit on 97.1 The Ticket. Hi, D.
DK, good. Happy New Year's, fellas. What's going on?
Same to you, D.
Hey, man, real quick about Aiden Hutchinson. All he needs is 15 pounds in the NFL weight room training program, and he good to go, baby. He got everything else. Couple of pounds and some weightlifting, and he's going to be all right. Now, I'm calling about Jared Goff, fellas. All year long, me included, I've been down to the guy saying he ain't what I thought he was, he ain't what he was. I think LA. When they put up the guy's numbers yesterday for the season, and bro, I was impressed, considering he don't have a reliable receiver corps. He's been having offensive linemen in and out of the lineup, and this guy still got like 3,300 yards, 18 touchdowns, 8 picks, and I believe 67% completion ratio.
Yeah, he's completed 67% of his passes for just over 3,000 yards. He's got 17 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. His quarterback rating isn't anything special. It's at 90, which is probably down considerably in his career, and it's certainly down from what we saw the last several years with Stafford.
But yes. No, I'm just pointing out what those numbers are. But I'm kind of with you in that you look at this receiving room and what they have to work with. There isn't much there. There wasn't much there to start the season, and it's even more barren when you get to this point. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown has been a fantastic story, and he's been great, but look at all the other guys that are out there on the field for him that changed the offensive line. That's an excellent point to bring up, and they've had injuries all over the place with this team, and he's been okay. I don't think I would say he's good, but he also hasn't had the best opportunity with this team because of what they've thrown out there with him.
Okay, I got positive vibes about next year, like I always do for the last 20 years with this team. But bro,
that's it right there.
Seriously, St. Brown, if we get Cephas back, Josh Reynolds, what's the guy number 11? I forgot the speech to number 11.
Khalif Raymond.
British rival. Now, if we can get a free agent veteran to come in, bro, with a healthy Hopkinson, and like I said, let's get Goff one more try, bro. That's all I'm saying.
If there are no alternatives, right? I mean, you don't force, with the extra draft capital, you don't have to force it. You don't have to force it. You know, a quarterback doesn't have to go 1-1 to be great in the NFL. And so...
He did.
Goff did, but I'm just saying, or 1-2. I mean, the Lions are almost assuredly going to pick second in this coming draft. You don't have to be taken there. I mean, it's nice if you get the best quarterback out of the draft, but even, look, depends on the quality of the draft, too.
I love Jake. He's a great guy, great call, and happy. But what he just described is what could be there for the Lions next year with the wide receiver room.
Yep.
Is maybe worse than what we had going into it this previously. I mean, when you had the two free agents they signed and going with what they had, a healthy Cephas and all that, is what he described actually worse than what they had going into it? I mean, I love what St. Brown has done. I think there's some promise with some of these other guys in terms of them being guys on a roster. But as far as having a wide receiver one, they don't have them yet.
No.
I think they got wide receiver two. I think St. Brown is really good in terms. I look at St. Brown, and I saw somebody, I think it was the Free Press, had the same comparison, which I'm a little upset by. But he's Golden Tate, and that's a good thing because you're getting Golden Tate at the beginning of his career and not towards the, in his peak and ready to crest over on the other side. Golden Tate had some really good years with the Lions. St. Brown is at the start of his career, and I think he's got some real promise there. But they have got to use a draft pick, maybe as high as maybe with their first round pick, they're going to have to use a wide receiver in the draft, or they're definitely going to have to get one in free agency. They have to improve that room. As much as I may like Josh Reynolds, and you're hoping that Cephas comes back and he can be somebody,
none of those guys are elite.
No, not at all.
There's also that stat that you don't have to have an elite wide receiver to win a Super Bowl, and you can look back at previous Super Bowl winners.
But then you need to have an elite quarterback.
Yes, and so, but that doesn't mean you don't improve the position. And you don't have to put this first pick in the draft to it. There should be some guys that can help you available with your second or third pick, which is going to be like 26 and 33, 34. So
that being said, Jared Goff should start the season as the Lions starting quarterback in 2022.
See, I'm not ready to go there. I would say that that's most likely the case scenario. Let's see what happens. I mean, if they get, Malik Willis with their second pick or somebody of that ilk that turns out to be that guy, then great. But I think it's most likely it's going to be Goff starting next year. But they don't need to have the next guy next year. Next year's not a year about trying to win with the next guy.
My question is Tim Boyle, is he doing enough to say that he's the second guy?
I don't think so.
I mean, there was a point yesterday, I'm like, okay, he's looking good. He's throwing in rhythm. Yeah. He's making quick decisions. He throws a catchable pass, which is big, and then he started making some bad decisions. That third interception was horrible. It was off his back foot. He had a receiver wide open, and he just made a horrific pass.
248-539-9797 on our Champion Jump nominations today at 10:35. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1. Hey, Super Bowl's right around the corner, and referring a friend on FanDuel Sportsbook could be your ticket to Super Bowl 56. That's right. When you refer a friend on FanDuel Sportsbook, you'll be entered for a chance to win an all-expenses-paid trip for two to Super Bowl 56. Don't miss FanDuel's biggest refer a friend offer ever. All you have to do is share your exclusive referral link right from the Sportsbook app. Once your friend places any bet of $10 or more, You'll both get $50, and you will be entered to win the Super Bowl sweepstakes. What I like about the FanDuel Sportsbook app is it's easy to navigate. And in-game betting. I like that more than I thought it would. See for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and refer a friend for your chance to win a trip to Super Bowl 56 for 2. Must be 21 or older and present in Michigan. Refund. A referred player must wager $10 within 28 days after signing up. Bonus issued as site credit and is non-withdrawable and expires after 7 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. No purchase necessary for the Super Bowl ticket promotion. Super Bowl promotion closes on the 9th of January. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 97.1 The Ticket.
Get the latest sports news and inside information about Michigan and Michigan State on the 5-Star Zone with Rico Beard. Download it today on the Odyssey app.
Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, here's why pediatricians all over the state are recommending it.
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
Over 3 billion people have been fully vaccinated now from COVID-19. After clinical trials with kids around the world, the COVID vaccine is now authorized to be safe and effective for children 5 to 11 with 2 small kid-sized doses.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Talk to your doctor and learn more at michigan.gov/kidscovidvaccine. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Research shows that people remember radio ads with repetition. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance so you only pay for what you need, here's a repetitive ad. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Yes, Miss Downs. No problem. I'll call someone about the plot.
One of Beatrice's properties needs a new superintendent. Someone with handyman superpowers and a concierge alter ego.
Does anyone know any good electricians in Parkville?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get help managing your money for the life and years ahead with Fidelity Income Planning. We'll look at what you've saved, what you'll need, and help you build a flexible plan for cash flow designed to last, so you can go from saving to living. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE SIPC.
Inside District Detroit on the second floor of Hockeytown is a unique broadcast and recording studio. Music Town. It's the intersection of music, sports, news, and unique experiences. Powered by your Metro Detroit Ram truck dealers. MusicTownDetroit.com.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by National Benefit Plans, 877-734-2200.
Necessary Roughness with former NFL lineman TJ Lang and John Jansen. Download it today on the Odyssey app.
It's been a hell of a season. I wanted to come into this season and beat Ohio State and win a Big Ten championship, and I did that. So I'm happy and I'm proud. Came up a little short, but it is what it is.
I've seen some locker rooms after games where guys are angry, guys are, if just for this, if just for that. That was kind of they were better than us locker room. And
that was Aiden Hutchinson.
Yes. Following Michigan's loss to Georgia. Georgia now plays Alabama. Who do you think wins that game? What's your first early read on that?
My gut tells me Bama wins. They won pretty decisively last time. Even though I think people think they just totally blew out Georgia, but it really wasn't the case. Georgia had a lead early in that game when they were up by 10 points at some point, I believe. And Alabama came back and just you couldn't stop that offense. They just couldn't get a stop when they needed to. And I think there was a defensive touchdown as well for Alabama in that game. So things went downhill kind of quickly for Georgia. Georgia's awfully good.
Yep.
And now they've faced Alabama once, so they know what to expect. But Nick Saban's the best coach in the history of college football. It's not just recruiting. He knows what the hell he's doing. And I would expect that he'll have a game plan ready to go to combat that offensive and defensive line of Georgia.
248-539-9797. We'll talk about the recruiting a little bit later on. Let's get back to your open line calls. Dave is in Ferndale, and he's on 97.1. Hi, Dave.
Hey, guys.
What's up?
You talked about the Michigan game early on, and I saw differently, but I did an analysis of why there was a lack of pass rush, especially with Hutchinson. Please stop the run. Please stop the run ever. There were more second and one, second and two, and you can't get a pass rush at that stage. I think more than anything, that's the reason why they just couldn't garner an lead. You have one or two opportunities throughout a quarter where you stop a run on a first down or whatever, but it just didn't happen. That really was the real problem.
It's valid. I mean, Georgia never really got that far behind the sticks, and when you don't have obvious passing downs, and there were less. I mean, there were some, but there were less in this game than most. I think it's a very good point, Dave. And in fact, it's funny because pregame, one of the things we talked about with Mike McDonald was the matchup between Michigan's pass rushers and Georgia's offensive line, and he said, "Look, our success is a function of what we do early in the down box, so that we can force them to be in passing situations." And I would bet, I haven't gone back and looked at it, but I would bet that was some of the fewest, second and third and longs of teams that Michigan had forced all year.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen kind of a defensive line, and we don't need to talk about the offense at this stage, but just the defensive line got blown up. I mean, the linebackers got blown up. They had no answer. You think, okay, if they can make changes, but it was clear there was just as you stated, there was a difference in talent, speed, I don't know, strength, but just there was one team that was a lot better than the other. That was pretty clear. And Fenner had the tough spot.
Yeah, no argument here. 248-539-9797. Champ and Chump. Let's get to our Champ and Chump nominations. Who had the best weekend? Who should be called out over a weekend who stinks? My champ of the weekend is Amon-Ra St. Brown from the Detroit Lions, who continues to develop. And I think you can actually kind of see him coming along as a leader a little bit. I got to be careful because we're subject to the whims of the director when they show him on the sideline. But I saw him talking a little bit more and using him out of the backfield, a draw play on third and long. How about that?
It was a third draw play that I think you could say they're going to run a draw on this play, and they didn't, and it worked for a touchdown.
Yep. I think if nothing else, late in this season, this is what you want to see is some young guys making plays. Look, they started 4 rookies on defense and 3 on offense, 2 on the offensive line. And, that's playing the young guys. And when you play the young guys, sometimes you get blown out, and that's what happened. The offense did some things, but the defense got a 3 and out and then gave up 9 straight scoring drives.
Well, St. Brown has set the bar high for the rest of his career. 82 receptions for over 800 yards and 4 touchdowns receiving, plus he's got the 1 rushing. That's setting it high. My champ of the week, I'm going to go with Ohio State quarterback C.J. Stroud. They had the 2 big opt-outs at wide receiver. Wilson Olave didn't play. His left tackle, Petit Frere, he didn't play. And yet all he did was throw for 573 yards. 37 out of 46. Accurate as all hell. 6 touchdown passes in Ohio State's Rose Bowl win over Utah. Devin Lloyd did not opt out. Utah's got a pretty good defense, and he just carved them up. Smith and Jigba is ridiculous. He had over 300 yards receiving. Marvin Harrison Jr., next man up, step up, and he had 3 touchdowns. They've got a wealth of talent there, but his top 2 receivers were gone in that game. Left tackle. I was impressed with C.J. Stroud.
Let's get to our Chump nominations. Chump is unfortunately Michigan. Everything about the performance, game, coaching, the players. I had a bad game, Gator, for a variety of reasons on the field. It was just, the whole thing was a mess, and I think they could have made that game close, but I don't know that they could beat Georgia, to be quite frank. But they didn't help themselves.
Well, I'm going to be a little more specific in there, and again, I admit I was way off because I picked Michigan to win, but I'm going to go with Michigan's offensive line. That unit won the Joe Moore Award for having the best offensive line in the country. They gave up 4 sacks against Georgia after giving up only 10 sacks all season long. They ran for just 3.4 yards a carry and less than 100 yards after going for 5.3 a carry and nearly 225 yards per game in the previous 13 efforts. Offensive line was not good for Michigan.
Get your champ and chump votes in. We tally them up and post on the website on Tuesday who the people select champ and chump of the weekend. Here's a few of them via ticket text. Champ Mel Tucker and Michigan State on a fantastic season no one expected. Chump Antonio Brown for continuing to act like a child. Hope he never gets back in the NFL. Champ Amon St. Brown, dude's a stud. Enough said. Chump clown Antonio Brown. This isn't CTE. He is literally the most selfish, biggest diva in the history of sports. It's from Nick and Belleville.
Well, I don't know what it is. I don't recall him having these issues the first, I don't know how many years he was in Pittsburgh. Was he known as a diva, or was it just right at the end? And then things obviously bounced around poorly for him with the Raiders, the whole cryo-freezing foot thing, and the way he got kicked out of that franchise, the short tenure in New England, and then, of course, the issues he had in Tampa Bay, and finally the blow-up yesterday. I would caution there could be a mental health issue with this.
I'm not going to diagnose it.
I'm not going to diagnose it on the air. I'm just saying, I'll put it out there and say it's potential, because that's not typical behavior you would see.
There was some talk from guys in the locker room after that game that he needed help, and when I hear that, it leads me to believe that they're worried about it. They weren't as angry. I mean, Bruce Arians didn't sound like he needed help. Bruce Arians basically said, he's no longer a Buck, and left it at that. He sounded more angry. Some of the players sounded like they were worried about his mental health. I'll just say this. In this kind of situation, I'm not chump. I thought about it. I'm like, I'm not going to chump this guy. I don't know if there's potentially some illness going on there.
Yeah, there's another video from a camera phone that shows the whole thing kind of unfold with him on the sideline, and he's talking with Mike Evans, comes over and tries to convince him, hey, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, and Antonio Brown says basically wisdom after. He's taking his pads off and takes the jersey off and then makes the run, and then you can see the regular camera angles of what was going on there. It's a strange